when Afanja died, Alimi was able to get the Muslim community in the army to appoint him as the chief imam for the whole of Ilorin. The Yoruba people were horrified. So, volunteer armies imam, led by the Alaafin Oluewu. I will find another time to tell that story. Be ready to shed tears. The Alaafin Oluewu was a handsome prince, very handsome man, and a very pleasant man, also a very courageous person. On his way to the attack on Ilorin, he went through many towns and brought a lot of people with him. But outside Ilorin, the army began to quarrel among themselves. Some said one thing, other people said other things. The end result of it was that the Alaafin decided, no, we've gone this far. If nobody is fighting with me, I will fight alone. Nobody fighting with me, I will fight alone. So he plunged into the fight. And his son, his eldest son, plunged into the fight with him. When the fighting got bad, in the middle of the day, his son came, galloped to him where he was leading, where he was fighting like a prince, like a great warrior prince. Got off his horse, prostrated before him and said, my father, it doesn't look good, but we are Yoruba, we are Oyo, and we are the Alaafin's family. We don't turn back. So goodbye. I may never see you again. So he got onto his horse and galloped away. He fell in battle. The Alaafin fought and also fell from his horse, but he wasn't dead. He was badly wounded. And there was a fight over his body. And his body was finally taken into the city of Ilorin and taken to the home of the most senior man in the army, who was a Yoruba chief. And the emir sent somebody to go and see what is happening back there. They drove him back. This is not for foreigners. This is for us, Yoruba people. They knew he was going to die because he was so badly wounded. They wanted to subject him to the fullest disgrace imaginable. They put shackles in his legs. They bound his hands. And then one of the leading Yoruba chiefs took a sword and cut off his head. That's their laughing. There were young men there. There were young men there who saw it happen. They were horrified to see what had happened. And almost all of them fled from Ilorin and ended up in Ibadan. And they were among the young men who fought the Ilorin army in 1840 in Osogbo and defeated the Ilorin army and captured the leading Yoruba men from Ilorin. That's what we Yoruba sometimes do to ourselves. When we have a quarrel over politics, we tend to want to destroy one another. The big question is, why? Why? Where do we get that from in our culture? We had built the greatest civilization on the African continent. We were the only people living in towns and cities, where our neighbors were living in the bush. The first European who came into our country in 1825 December, the English explorer Clapperton, he expressed surprise that there were so many towns There are not as many towns as this even in Europe. He said when you are leaving a Yoruba town and the noise of the town begins to recede behind you, the noise of the next town you will begin to hear the noise of the next town in front of you. At short distances from one another, we Yoruba lived in great cities. We built the greatest civilization. We had the most sophisticated system of government. One American traveled in our country in 1854 to 1858. He said, listen, among us white people, the greatest excellence of government, is the principle of the balance of power in government, so as to prevent the abuse of powers. We had the king as the apex of our political system, but around him we created the council of chiefs. And so the authority of the government existed entirely in that council of the king and his chiefs. The king did not take decisions on his own. He took decisions in the council of chiefs. When the decision has been taken, however, it is announced to the people as the king's sole decision, as if he sat in the corner of his room and took the decision. No. We had that system of balance of power. The chiefs cannot claim that the decision was theirs. It's against the rule for them to claim that it is theirs. They must not tell the world. They must not go out of the palace meeting and go and tell the public that they had taken a decision. Only the king takes decisions. And yet it is they and the king that took the decision. And a king is not allowed to take a decision on his own alone. Beautiful balance of powers. Democracy at its best.